Welcome to Rose Red Homestead. This is the third and last in our series about water in emergency situations. This particular video will talk about the water coming into your house and what you need to do when an emergency occurs. So there are three things to consider. One is the water pipe that brings water into your home. The second is information about your hot water heater. And third is what to do with your bathtubs. So we'll talk about all three of those when we come back in just a moment. One of the first things you need to think about when you are notified of an emergency situation is to quickly evaluate the type of emergency that it is and what that effect might be on the water coming into your home. And then is when you need to make various decisions. The first decision is, do you need to shut off the water coming into your home? If there is any threat to the quality of drinking water, then I would say absolutely yes. Or the other consideration is if there is any threat to the stability of your water pipes. If it is an earthquake and there is danger of pipes rupturing, then the answer would be absolutely yes. In any other situation, you would just have to make a judgment on whether or not you need to have the water shut off to your house. Therefore, it is very important for you to know where the water shutoff valve is for the water coming into your house. Now, ours happens to be in our HVAC closet, right where we store our bug-out buckets. And so it's going to be an easy thing for us to just go right ahead and shut that water off if necessary. You do not necessarily need to turn it off at the curb, or in our case, out on the dirt road, unless you feel that that is necessary. But just quickly turning off the water as it comes into your house would be the solution to many problems. The second issue to think about is, what about your water heater? Now, first of all, your water heater holds clean water. And if we're going to be without water for any amount of time, that would be a great source for you to have. So you want to be sure that that water is preserved. If you live in an earthquake zone like we do, it is very important that your water heater is lashed to the walls so that there is no possibility that as a house shakes that the water heater would tumble over. If it were to do so, it would twist pipes and break pipes, and all of the water in that water heater could be lost, as well as if you had not turned your house water off and it burst a pipe, then you would also have a flood. So make sure, if especially you are in an earthquake zone, that your hot water heater is lashed to the wall. The second thing is, know where the drain valve is on your hot water heater so you can get that clean water out if necessary. And in order to do so, you will have to, of course, put some kind of a bucket or a pot underneath that valve so that the water can come into a clean receptacle. But in the first place, in order to get the water to actually start flowing, you would have to open up a pipe elsewhere in your home so that air could get through and break the vacuum and allow the water to flow. So those are the considerations about the hot water heater in your home in case of emergency. The third thing is what to do about the bathtubs in our homes. Our bathtubs are the largest containers that we have in our home for holding water. And so let's take advantage of that. If we have enough lead time from the time that the emergency is announced or occurs, if there is enough lead time, we should quickly fill up every bathtub in our home with water. Now, I don't know about you. I don't know what kind of a housekeeper you are. I'm a pretty good housekeeper, but I would in no way want to drink the water stored in our bathtubs. But it could be very good in terms of being able to use it for other things, like bathing, for instance. We could take out a small amount and have sort of a sponge bath if we needed to do that. We could also dip out that water out of the tubs and put it into our toilets so that we could have water to flush our toilets with, and that would certainly be an advantage. But wouldn't it be wonderful if we could use at least one of our bathtubs filled with water for drinking water and cooking water? And that brings me to a product that I have recently found, and it is called a water bob. And what this is a great big 100-gallon bladder that you can fill with water. It's completely enclosed once we fill it up, and so it preserves the safety of the water, the cleanliness of the water, and it even has a little pump that we can use to draw the water in the water bob out as we need it. So I thought it might be a really good idea for us to open this up. This is a brand new package. It just came the other day. And I read a lot about this, first of all. And also, I need to just make a little caveat here. We don't receive any kickbacks from any products that we mention in our videos. We both think, Jim and I both think, that that is not ethical, that we need to be able to give our unbiased opinions on the products that we use. And so we buy things with our own money, and that's what we use, and then we will give you, from our perspective, the benefits and the deficits of any of the products that we might mention. Now, I watched a couple of other YouTube videos about this from people who actually opened it up and filled it up with water and tested it. And I also read a lot of comments about this product as it was listed on Amazon. And even though it is advertised as a single-use product, there were people in Florida who have had experience with these during hurricanes that say that they love this product, that they have used it, and even though it's advertised as a single-use product, that they were able to take it outside and completely dry it out on the inside and then store it away for use a second time and even a third time. So take that information for whatever it's worth. Now we're going to open the box here and investigate what is on the inside. It is never a good idea to try to read instructions in the heat of the moment when the emergency is upon us and we're trying to figure out how something works. So if you elect to purchase something like this, there are picture directions on the side of the box that give you a quick look at what to do. And then here, this picture on the front also gives you a good idea of what it looks like when it is installed. And we're going to take it back to one of our tubs and we're going to lay it out as if we are going to fill it, but we're going to stop short of filling it. The other videos that I watched, people actually did test it. They filled it with water. One person even left the water in place for 40 days. And even though they thought there may have been a little leak, other viewers who made comments underneath the video said, no, it didn't leak. When you were filling it up, we saw that there was a little stream of water that was going down the tub, down the wall of the tub, and that's probably what that water was. So pretty good results. One person filled it up about this much taller than the walls of his tub, and it still was just okay. So this might be a really good alternative to just filling your your bathtub with water to use for secondary water type situations. Another suggestion that one of the viewers on one of those other videos said was that you can pay $35 for this, or you can just go to the dollar store and buy a very inexpensive shower curtain and just lay it out. That would not be as sanitary as this. So I have my trusty pocket knife, and I'm going to slit the plastic. I love this little pocket knife, but I always have to be careful to remove it from my purse when I fly, because it can't fly with me. Okay, so there we have the plastic, and now there's a little seal right here. I'm going to be very careful because I don't want to perforate any of the plastic that is on the inside. So taking it out of the box, so here is the siphon pump. And we'll learn how that attaches when we take it back to the bathroom. Here is the sleeve. This part goes down into the bladder, and this sleeve fits up around your water faucet. So the water, to fill it, the water comes down through here. And then here is the bladder itself. There is a warning that says the water bob is not a toy. So we'll make sure that it's not used as a toy. And it looks like it has a place here for filling, and then another place here to put the pump. So we're going to take this back to the bathroom, and we'll meet you back there after I have this all laid out. This is quite close quarters in here, so we'll do the best we can. I have laid the bladder out in this tub, and you may notice that this is a triangular sized jetted tub. So this is our largest tub. Now, if I were really going to fill this up, those jets there, I may want to take some masking tape, or not masking, but duct tape, and put over that so that there were no even semi-sharp edges that would snag a hole in the bladder. It is pretty thick plastic. I'm impressed with the thickness of the plastic, so that is really good. Another thing that I have done is that I took this washcloth, and it's quartered right here, and I put it over the drain so to cushion it so that that also wouldn't be poking up. So if I were ready to set this up, and particularly if I were doing this by myself, I would really want to know what I'm doing ahead of time. So I looked at the instructions, and it says just to lay it out as flat as you can in the tub. And then we need to connect the water sleeve. So here's the water sleeve. And I just undo this lid, set it aside, and screw this on. Make sure it's laid out flat again. And then you bring the water sleeve up over the faucet. Now, right away, I noticed a couple of things that we need to pay attention to. If I can't find a way of fastening this, I'm stuck here holding this the entire time that it is filling up. And that is a ridiculous use of my time. So I'm going to want to make sure that I have prepared ahead of time by either having a rubber band, a nylon, one of those nylon ratchet type of little clippy things, or some duct tape. Now, I could not find our duct tape. I think we were using it this past weekend when my son was here, and it may have gotten in his things. So this is just some painting tape. And so I would take some kind of tape and just wrap it around, and then I could make sure that it was, I could even put a piece of tape here and pull it forward and then fasten it down with more tape. And so then you just fill this whole thing up. And then once it is full and it reaches above the level of this bathtub, I'm not sure how it would expand to this triangle shape, but it may. I don't have any idea. But then when we get ready to siphon out some water, then we would open up this siphon, and it attaches right through here. So we would undo this lid right here. This is not a toy. So we undo this lid, and then this also has a screw down fastener right here that we would screw in. And I'm not going to do that because this is a little bit sharp and I don't want to puncture any holes. But this would then just screw in, and then it would be at about this level when we're done. And in order to fill it up, we would want to take, if you understand the physics of siphoning, you're going to need to put this level right here lower than the water level itself. So, and then you can just squeeze this pump to start the siphon, and then it will siphon. And then if all else fails, if a siphon doesn't work, you can always just pump instead of using the siphon. So I think this is a really good product. I hope we never have to use it, but it will give us some peace of mind knowing that we have this ready to go in our bathtub that will give us, I don't know, 75 to 100 gallons more of drinking water. So that will be a great thing. So thank you for joining us. I hope this has been useful for you, and we will see you next time.